Right, 27 January 2021. And today I want to quickly look at the situation that is developing between Philip Chiyangwa and Prophet Advocate Joshua. So this weekend, Prophet Advocate Joshua delivered a prophecy. And in the prophecy, he called out the name of Philip Chiyangwa and said that Zimbabweans must pray for Philip Chiyangwa because his life, in fact, they must pray for Philip Chiyangwa's life. And Philip Chiyangwa came out very, very angry on Zim I, and he basically went after Prophet Advocate Joshua. I was supposed to have Prophet Advocate Joshua here tonight. Unfortunately, he's having a problem with his network, and I won't be able to record him live today. But I want to discuss this topic because Philip Chiyangwa accused Gambakwe Media of working with Prophet Advocate Joshua in a scheme so that we can somehow benefit from propagating the story that Philip Chiyangwa was going to die. I speak to almost all the prophets in Zimbabwe, and I also speak to Philip Chiyangwa. I consider him to be someone like a brother to me. He calls me once in a while to talk to me. And I've got no malice against Philip Chiyangwa. In fact, I consider him an icon. However, I want us today to discuss whether the response that he had to this prophecy was correct. I also want us to look at whether his life is in danger. Is he going to die after this prophecy? What kind of a prophet is Prophet Advocate Joshua? So let's quickly play the prophecy that Prophet Advocate Joshua did, and then let's quickly play the response afterwards, and then we'll proceed. So this is the prophecy from Prophet Advocate Joshua.
I said, God tell my people to pray for Philip Chiyangwa. He may not be sick now. He may be, I don't know. But all I have to say is what God has told me. You have to start to pray for him today so that his life may be spared, because when God instructed me to come and talk to you, he showed me the result of people not praying and interceding for him. And I saw a lot of luxurious cars. They were left with no one to drive them. The cars that you dream about yourself, I saw them lying there. They were left without a driver.
Okay, so that prophecy was given on Sunday, and I was sleeping in my house. I didn't know that prophecy was given. And then about midday, it came to my attention that this prophecy had been given. We edited this prophecy and we put it on our YouTube and on our Facebook. So there was no discussion between me and Prophet Advocate Joshua before this prophecy was published. So let's look at the response now from Philip Chiyangwa.
It takes a person like me into some online papers confidence, and they publish things that cause some disharmony, or rather unsettlement within my family. When an online newspaper, which is the one behind this young man, cannot be able to score points to get money from YouTube and Facebook, they do this. This is out of greed, and I'm warning this young man that I will pursue him through proper means and put him into his proper space. This is an unforgivable offense. You don't play with God on me. You don't know why I'm right now here, and what has protected me thus far. to shout out and say, let's get a prayer for Philip Chiyangwa. You call on a prayer for me. I call for prayer for myself. But this one is doing it to jump in to the fame and fortune Philip Chiyangwa has and use it to create mileage for himself and this online paper that was, working with him to try and throw this thing at YouTube. I'm contacting YouTube and Facebook about this criminality. So I have no apologies to make to these people. Please, anyone who saw this is really malicious. That's all I can say. This from God. You. Even at my age of 61, I've never seen God. How old are you? You are even less than 40 years of age. You're telling me you've been by God. To hell with this guy. And the people who support him. I am saying this was an unfortunate development coming from somebody I know. Working through another online person who has previously come through to me and I helped him. Now, here we go. With them working together so that they can bypass talking to me, create a story, sell it for money. This is bullshit,
Right. Very, very angry. And I'm very sorry that this had to happen. If it was me, I would never have to hear a death prophecy. I do not like death prophecies. And you all know that last year, American prophet Nathan Hambred issued a death prophecy on me. But I did not take it seriously. Me and my family, we sat down and we laughed about it. And it was that. I'm not dead. You can see me here. I'm alive. So there are many, many death prophecies that have been issued. But I want to tell you about Prophet Advocate Joshua and why you must take him very, very seriously. So the first time I talked about Prophet Advocate Joshua, he was unknown. He had only one video on YouTube. And this video was about the 2018 elections. He correctly predicted before time that Idi Mnangagwa was going to win and that Chigumba was going to play a key role in the win of Idi Mnangagwa. That was before the elections, way before the elections. Then obviously before that, he predicted the death of Roy Bennett. He predicted the death of, maybe I shouldn't say predicted, I should say prophesied, the death of Morgan Tsvangirai. And recently, he prophesied the death of Jinimbi. So Prophet Advocate Joshua is someone that I know personally. I talk to him a lot. He does not need money from anybody. He does not extort money from anybody. That's why I published that prophecy. I also last year invited Prophet Advocate Joshua and his wife to my house here in Johannesburg. And he spent a week with me. And at that time, Prophet Advocate Joshua was not on video. He was issuing his prophecies on text. So one day over dinner, me and Prophet Advocate Joshua, we had a strategy session where we agreed that he was going to open his own channel because he was putting his videos on my channel. He was going to open his own channel. He was going to start publicizing all his prophecies on his own channel. So I do not have a partnership with Prophet Advocate Joshua. In fact, I assisted him to set up his own infrastructure. We assisted him to set up his own website. We assisted him to basically get online. And unfortunately, he's unable to get on now. I could have talked to him. I'm trying my best to put to Prophet Advocate Joshua because it's important for us to get the true facts. So as you can see, his network is very, very bad. He's there, but he can't join. So what happened is when he issued the Jinimbi prophecy, I was very, very reluctant to publish it because I felt that maybe it's not the right thing to do, to publish a death prophecy about someone who is alive. And it almost scares me to do that to other people, especially a prominent person like Philip Chiyangwa. to publish that he's going to die. I feel like it's too much. It brings so much confusion in his life. But that is me. You also, if you listen very carefully, Prophet Advocate Joshua said, God told me to issue this prophecy in public. Chiyangwa and Prophet Advocate Joshua, they talk. Prophet Advocate Joshua has got the number of Chiyangwa. If he wanted, he could have issued the prophecy on the phone, but he didn't. So it wasn't by mistake. It was something that was designed. Prophet Advocate Joshua has issued prophecies that many people have seen, including the prophecy on Deputy President General Chiyangwa. When everyone was saying General Chiyangwa is going to die, he's the only one who said General Chiyangwa is going to come back to office. So I'm giving you the background of who is Prophet Advocate Joshua and why I believe I should publish what he says. It's newsworthy. It's important information that I'm issuing because I know the person that I'm talking about. He's got a track record. He has also issued a death prophecy on Prophet Makandiwa's wife, Ruth, which has not come to pass. And I've called him here. We talked about it. And he said this prophecy is on the way. So I'm just giving you a background on who Prophet Advocate Joshua is. So I understand the anger that my brother Philip Chiyangwa has got, and I hope that this can be resolved. But Prophet Advocate Joshua is here now. I think, Prophet, let's quickly talk before you lose your network. Can you just talk to the audience who are here? Do you understand the anger that Mr. Philip Chiyangwa has got after he issued the prophecy? Okay, I think we still have a network problem. He's unable to talk to us. He is somewhere quite far from the towns, and I wish we could talk to him. But as I was saying, I understand the anger that my brother Philip Chiyangwa has got after the prophecy was issued. And on my part, I find it difficult to, a catch-22. I need to publish everything that is newsworthy, but it's not for money. We don't make a lot of money from YouTube. In fact, if I showed you that video that we published, it's probably not going to make even $10. So it's not about money. It's about publicizing information. And we have a huge following. So if you look on that video, it's way over 40,000 views now on YouTube and on Facebook. So obviously, many people want to know what is going to happen to Philip Chiyangwa. People really care. And if I wanted, I would have invited my brother Philip Chiyangwa here, but I'm not going to do it because it's unfair that if prophecy was issued on Sunday and then on Wednesday, we're already talking about it or dismissing it. I think that would be a problem. There's someone here who's suggesting that I must call Prophet Advocate Joshua on his phone. So I'm going to do it, and then let's see if that works. I actually don't like it to do that because it surprises the person that I'm calling. I hope you guys can hear this. Evening, Prophet. How are you?
How are you?
Good. We are live. I tried to call you because people want to hear what you have to say about Philip Chiyangwa's response. Please talk a bit louder. What is your opinion or what is your view on Philip Chiyangwa's response on Zimai?
I have received quite a lot of information regarding that issue. But I must say that I cannot respond to to an individual, really, because I might end up detracting from my main mission. You see, my mission is becoming a maker of peace and also discharging my prophetic mandate to nations. So even if person I was told, I read thousands and millions across the globe. I even doubted that it was Dr. Chiyangwa saying whatever that was brought to my attention. But who am I to comment? You see, the mission that God has given us is not to say that we do not want to enjoy the pain of ministry. And I cannot judge anybody. Who am I to judge people? I cannot. In fact, you have to master the fact that everything that you accept as a price tag, I must pay. For example, I'll give you this example. I do a lot of kung fu and boxing. And one of the major things that occurs is that you are in the care pain for you to gain the agility that is necessary. So the moment you become a servant of God, you have to be ready to be tested in some way. Remember what the Bible says in Matthew in chapter 24, verse 9 to 10. That then shall they deliver you up to the afflicted and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended and shall then betray one another and shall hate one another.
Okay. So, Prophet, I hear you, but I think the quality is not very good. So tomorrow I will try to shoot a video with you offline so that we don't keep everyone waiting when they can't hear properly. Thank you very much, Prophet, for joining. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thank you. Right, so you could hear what Prophet Advocate Joshua said. He said he cannot respond to what Philip Chiyangwa said, that angry video that you heard. In fact, for people that have not heard it, I want to repeat what Philip Chiyangwa said about Prophet Advocate Joshua very, very quickly.
It takes a person like me into some online papers confidence, and they publish things that cause some disharmony, or rather unsettlement within my family. When an online newspaper, which is the one behind this young man, cannot be able to score points to get money from YouTube and Facebook, they do this. This is out of greed, and I'm warning this young man that I will pursue him through proper means and put him into his proper space. This is an unforgivable offense. You don't play with God on me. You don't know why I'm right now here, and what has protected me thus far. To shout out and say, let's get a prayer for Philip Chiyangwa. You call on a prayer for me. I call for prayer for myself. But this one is doing it to jump in to the fame and fortune Philip Chiyangwa has, and use it to create mileage for himself and this online paper that was, working with him to try and throw this thing at YouTube. I'm contacting YouTube and Facebook about this criminality. So I have no apologies to make to these people. Please, anyone who saw this is really malicious. That's all I can say. This from God. You. Even at my age of 61, I've never seen God. How old are you? You are even less than 40 years of age. You're telling me you've been to hell with this guy. And the people would support you. I am saying this was an unfortunate development coming from somebody I know. working through another online person who has previously come through to me, and I helped him. Now, here we go, with them working together so that they can bypass talking to me, create a story, sell it for money. This is bullshit, you know?
Right. I also want to just mention that although I talked to Philip Chiyangwa, I've never asked for anything or received anything from Philip Chiyangwa. So when he talks about help, I don't know what kind of help he's talking about. I also want to clarify that if people go and try to remove us from YouTube, it's very difficult for me. I had to restart my channel last year 3 times. I'm getting very, very tired. If I get to a point where my channel is closed this time, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I might even just leave this whole thing. Like, I'm fed up of starting my channel from scratch because of people from Zimbabwe. I get so many attacks. We are just here to provide information, but people don't get it. And I want to also look at the issue of death prophecies. Should we directly give them to the people, or should we give them in public? What happens if you issue a death prophecy in private? Like now in my inbox, I've got a number of death prophecies about certain people which have been issued by other prophets who said, we don't want you to publish now. We want you to publish after. And it's so interesting because the number of prophets that I talk to, they've got all these death prophecies. People are saying, why do you prophesy about death? But it's not up to me. It's not my job to tell a prophet what to prophesy about. And it's not my job to say whether a prophet is wrong or right. But obviously, I think on my brother Philip Chiyangwa's side, it would be nice to probably give Prophet Advocate Joshua a call and say, let us talk about this. There's nothing wrong with being prayed for. If the death prophecy is wrong, you still live. If the death prophecy is right, well, that is God's will. Like I said, last year, a death prophecy was issued on me by Nathan Hamred, and I did not die. But one day I'm going to die. So everyone here who is watching this video is going to die. There's no escaping that. But I was lucky that I did not die that time when that death prophecy was issued. But I did not go out and insult him because I don't know why he came to me, why he issued that prophecy. You know how many death prophecies have been issued on Mnangagwa? You know how many death prophecies has been issued on General Chiyangwa? So many. All these people, you have never heard them one day insulting anyone. For example, we talk about General Chiyangwa here every day. I've never received a threatening call from him. And I've never heard him commenting on those because that is the nature of life. Madam Boss had a death prophecy on her in December. She didn't die. She did not insult those people. She just went low until the whole thing passed. So I think this is another approach. It's his own approach, but maybe it's better to give the prophet a call and try to find out, try to get an explanation. That is Prophet Advocate Joshua there. Give him a call and say, Prophet Joshua, what's happening? You issued a death prophecy on me. Is it true? What should I do? It won't harm you at all. And I understand the anger. You must also understand Simbach Kanza. Simbach Kanza, he likes to push the boundaries. He likes to push everything to the edge. If you're not careful, you're going to be pushed in the wrong direction. And Simba is doing his job. That is his job, to get information. He's going to try to see what you think about what happened. And I don't blame him for what he did. You see what he did to Opam Chinguri. So he's on the roll. The ZANU-PF guys are falling for his tricks. So that is basically what I wanted to say. Prophet Advocate Joshua correctly predicting the death of Jinimbi in November. Within 3 weeks, Jinimbi was dead. On the day of Roy Bennett's death, he predicted it correctly. Morgan Tsvangirai, he predicted it correctly. The elections in 2018, he predicted them correctly. The return of General Chiyangwa, very, very interesting. And when he came to my house, the day he arrived, my revenues went up by 5 times. For the whole period he was in my house, unexplainably. So to me, I have got some bit of an understanding of the man who he is, and I have got no desire at all to tarnish the image of my brother Philip Chiyangwa, who I think is an icon in Zimbabwe. But I think this is a new area that we're entering. Prophecy, it scares me, because there are people out there, when they prophesy to you, the things happen. And I don't want to play with God. In fact, if I get a prophecy issued on me, I'll just keep quiet and see and observe. Right, so that's what I wanted to say today. Philip Chiyangwa death prophecy issued on Sunday, and Philip Chiyangwa responding angrily during the week, saying that he's not going to be prophesied by anybody because Prophet Advocate Joshua is looking for fame and money, and he cannot prophesy him because he's a young boy and himself is an old person who takes care of himself. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave you watching the prophecy again.
I said, God said, God tell my people to pray for Philip Chiyangwa. He may not be sick now. He may be, I don't know. But all I have to say is what God has told me. You have to start to pray for him today so that his life may be spared, because when God instructed me to come and talk to you, he showed me the result of people not praying and interceding for him. And I saw a lot of luxurious cars. They were left with no one to drive them.